You're listening to a podcast from 702 and Cape Talk.
702 and Cape Talk. Entrepreneur Corner.
Fiona, good morning to you.
Hi there.
Thank you so very much. Now, come on, juice. We drink juice. It makes us feel good. It tastes great. But how do you turn that into a business?
Yes, that's no small task, but where there's a will, there's certainly a way. So, yeah, I'm very excited to chat to you this morning. Thank you for the opportunity.
Of course.
I think it's all about looking at a need in the marketplace and seeing how can we do something that would be completely transparent so people can trust us and know that we've got integrity in our product. But how do we offer convenience, service, and quality at the same time? And I think what helped me turn what initially I had the same experience as you. I juiced myself and discovered the amazing and incredible benefits of just flooding your body with raw nutrients for a week and not making any dietary mistakes. But I had come out of a corporate background of 25 years in corporates living on coffee and rusks. And I had actually left the corporate world. I felt that, the time was to make a change. And then I juiced in the interim and realized, but hang on a minute, all those people out there, all the consultants I worked with, my colleagues, how would they benefit from having access to something like this? But there is no ways, when the only sound you hear at work is the rush of deadlines rushing past your ears, that you're going to have time to stand in front of a juicer in the morning. That's the one issue. You're not going to have time to rush around and go and find kale and spinach and broccoli and parsnips and alfalfa sprouts. Then you're not going to have probably the best equipment to extract the juice in the most optimal way. So I think the corporate background and the experience I had and my financial background combined with seeing this need and personally experiencing the benefit of this product, I thought immediately could see there's a business opportunity here because there was nobody in South Africa that was able to deliver a juice cleanse to your door. There were juice bars at the time.
Yeah.
We started up in 2012. But there was no one that could, you couldn't go online and say, I'd like to do a 7-day cleanse. Festive season's coming up. I'm feeling tired and sluggish. You click a button, 24 hours later it's delivered to your door. And yes, I'm a quite over-the-top achiever, perfectionist, workaholic person. So all of those combined, it's helped take it from an idea to where we are today.
Yeah.
It's been a journey.
And I think for me, that's exactly it, that you yourself had a particular need. And the more and more I speak to business people, that's what they're saying, that if you know that your life will be made better by a particular service or a particular product, and that's where you start developing your business idea.
Yes. And you know that you know that you know in your heart. Because it's not just, and it's not about, one of the big things for me as well, it was never about the money when I started. I believed in what I was going to do, and the money will flow as you go on, but you mustn't start it, I've always felt, for like, here's an idea to make money, let me go and do that. It was more, here's an idea to add a massive value to the market, and as the minutes tick on, the pressure increases in everybody's life. You've got your work, you've got your family, you're trying to build a career, you're trying to exercise at the same time. So the need for this is actually just going to get greater and greater. And at the same time, we've got factors like our food sources that are not as good as they were when our grandmother was eating oranges and they were packed with vitamin C. So you've got to find a way of getting in more nutrients into your body just to sustain the pace of life that we're all expected to cope with.
Here's something else I think that makes your business unique. You're not offering a weight loss program.
No.
What are you offering if you were to describe what Juice Revolution stands for? Because I said to the listeners that for me, it had never been juicing to lose weight. It's always, your lifestyle, You're busy, exactly what you're saying, the coffee and rusks, and you're stressed, you're staying up late at night. It always gives you an opportunity to just start again, feeling lighter and stronger.
It is a platform to make a transformational jump in your life, what we're offering. I actually did a quick check before you called me. We've done over 3,000 cleanses in South Africa. And really, if I must show you the emails, it sometimes brings tears to my eyes that people write into us and say, you don't understand how you've changed my life. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for starting this business. Because when you go on, let's take the 7-day cleanse. That 7-day journey, it's not just about not eating donuts for 7 days. It's about reconnecting with yourself and saying, well, why am I actually eating donuts when I could have grabbed a fruit salad and a yogurt? Or why am I drinking so much coffee when I can drink herbal teas? And why don't I cut the sugar out of my tea or my coffee at tea time? So it's a journey you go on for 7 days of the body and the mind. Your body makes it's like a condensed a condensed success that takes place in those 7 days, and you really reconnect with, actually I can do this better, I can do that differently, and then on a physical level, your body starts to thank you for what you're doing, and you start craving healthy foods. By the time you're done, it's so not about weight loss. You are jumping around because you've lost weight, and you're feeling fantastic, but you get an incredible momentum, and momentum is actually something you can't buy. It's priceless. The momentum it gives you to physically feed your body better and make lifestyle changes is actually where the magic happens. And the people make, I've had people that have made, I'm not saying this happens to everyone, they've literally said, I'm going to change the way I work now. I'm going to stop. I've got an amazing guy in Cape Town. He has become a good friend of mine. He was getting up at 6 in the morning, at work at 6, not doing any exercise, never had time to walk his dog, smoking, never felt comfortable to walk around in a sleeveless shirt, and he started juicing. Did one of our cleansers, and he now says, no, I'm actually going to get up and take my dogs for a walk first, then I'm going to go for a run, then I'm going to get on the highway, avoid the traffic, work then other hours, so maybe working a bit later to get all the work done, and hey, I'm losing weight, and I'm starting to do 10K runs now, and I can wear whatever I feel comfortable in. It's been like a transformation for him in his life, much more positive about things, so for us, it's such an honor and a privilege to be in the space and receive positive feedback on all fronts. Especially when you come out of corporates where things can be fairly toxic.
So you're running Juice Revolution full-time, Fiona?
Yes. I would say working. I've always worked hard, but when you work for yourself, you must be prepared to work twice as hard as whatever you are doing right now if you're working for somebody else. So I run it full-time. It's quite a long day. My husband has also joined me. We were both in corporates. I started off with me, myself, and I with a very small angel juicer and a small little fridge holding fruit and veggies. We're now 10 people in the business. My husband joined me full-time, so we run it as a family business. We live in a small holding just in the Stellenbosch winelands. So we do work from our base, which is amazing to be able to work from home. And we do it, we live it, we eat and we sleep it at the moment. And we're loving it.
I've got an SMS here from somebody called Andrew. He says, I love Juice Revolution. I stopped smoking, living better, feeling phenomenal, better running too. And here's somebody, really, I've heard about Juice Revolution. They make the best juices in a market where everybody is taking chances. Just on that, Fiona, I mean, were you ever concerned that the market might be overpopulated? And I like to be very honest and just say, I've also tried particular programs that just didn't work for me. And I could say what makes Juice Revolution unique, but for you, how would you answer someone like that? The market that's overpopulated, what are you offering that's different?
I think really, the consumers out there, you've got to ask questions. So we took the decision that we're going to be completely transparent in our process. So when we say our juice is cold pressed, because anybody can use the term cold pressed, it's not legislated really, so you can say yes, cold pressed. But if I go to that website, is there a picture of the machine that you're using? Do you give me the name of the machine? Do you describe how it works? Do you explain to me where you source your vegetables and fruits? How do you clean them before you juice them? How are you then, if your product has a shelf life of 5 days, how are you getting there? So for us, what I did is I must say I never stopped looking for ways of improving. So when we started this business, we said, okay, how can we do 150% at every step of the way? So we've got an organic farmer that supplies us the neighbouring farm right next to where we are. Then at a stage we were washing with a fruit and vegetable wash that's been imported from America. We researched and said that actually is not destroying all the pathogens that can come through farm soils. So we invested quite a bit of money in an ozone water washing system. And ozone is a completely natural cleansing agent. The ozone evaporates if you don't use it, so we tick that box. Then we look at juicing, and we had an angel juicer. We imported a hydraulic cold press out of America, the top machine that is available in the world, used by all the big juice companies, cost us a small fortune. We closed our eyes, and we put in the order, and we got it in place. And every inquiry I get, I say to people, these are the key things to know about our juice. And I explain this. This is the sourcing, the washing, the juicing. We've installed a small semi-automated bottling line so that we can blend very quickly. And then we looked at the challenge, how am I going to supply Reddy in Johannesburg who wants to do a cleanse before Comrades? Well, it's going to be difficult for me to send you bottles of juice that expire after 2 days. And I don't want to push it to 5, so we invested in blast freezing capability. So the minute we blend, we put the bottles in. A blast freezing is a rapid freezing technique. It freezes we can freeze 800 bottles to minus 25 in 2 hours. It locks in all the nutrients, it locks in the flavors. On a blind taste test, you can't tell the difference between the defrosted glass frozen juice and fresh from the same batch. So we ticked every box and said, this is what we're going to do. It's not going to be about maximizing our profits and about money initially. We are going to put in the best possible process and provide the people of South Africa with the best juice that you can get, and we'll be completely transparent. And if you want to pop in, hey, with pleasure, we'll take you to our juice kitchen and show you how we work. And our guys have got hair nets and white overalls and white boots, and there's systems in place so that it's a hygienic operation.
And then also, and for budding entrepreneurs and people who want to start businesses, the word simple stands out when I think about Juice Revolution. I mean, to have to drive somewhere and order a case of juice, put it in my boot, do this, it just seems far more cumbersome than what you are offering online. You've made it very easy to shop online and for the juice to be delivered within 24, 48 hours. Was that deliberate on your part?
It was very much so, and it did take a lot of, it adds extra complexity to our lives, but we decided we're going to do it because it's got to be as easy as possible, because I've been on the side of the working person that is trying to do 50 things at once. So we even go to the point of, so we'll give you a little booklet with a planner showing you what to do when, but then we take a sticker and we put it on the lid of every single bottle saying, this is day 1, juice 1, day 1, juice 2. And many people come across and they've said to us, no, why do you go, that's way too much work, but people can follow the plan. I'm like, no, you don't understand. When you get your juice and you're unpacking it in your freezer and it's 8 o'clock at night and you're tired, you want to just quickly pack it in order. Well, day 1 bottles, day 2 bottles. So we definitely really looked at how we can make this so simple that you can't possibly fail. And then we still send you a little newsletter every morning saying, this is what's happening today. This is why the juice is good for you. Don't forget to do this. If you're full, you don't have to force yourself to drink the entire bottle. So we've really tried to check where we can to see how we can make the experience. It must be a pleasure for our clients to consume our product. And all they want, for me, it's like the only work you must do is crack open the lids and drink the juice on time. And then we've got a win-win. So I do what I'm good at so that I free you up to do what you're good at.
Okay. Our lines are opening for you. We are profiling the work of an entrepreneur, Fiona Stander, a very unique company, a very different company. You're ordering juices online, you're paying online, they get delivered, and it's all about a lifestyle change rather than losing weight. And losing weight is a plus. But Fiona, it's true. A business must offer something far more than juice. You must offer wellness, emotional well-being, because that's what most people are striving for.
Yes. You must, and very often, you must be there for your clients. I've got about 2,000 numbers on my phone. Every single client that's ordered juice from me is saved by name in my phone. So if somebody phones me, it must never, so anyone who's starting a business, your customers must never feel like they are just another number or just a name on a list. They must feel they are treasured and they're cherished and you appreciate them. And I have had long conversations with people that are in corporate and thinking of getting out of it, and you end up becoming a bit of a coach for them, and you become friends with many of them. So it's not just about, here's a bottle of juice, go and drink that and enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. So is that how you've managed to create a customer base? Because you may have all the numbers of your clients, but the business is obviously growing. Is it the internet? Is it word of mouth? Tweeting about it? What exactly? So
what has really worked very well for us, which could be a tip for your listeners, is if you can find a way to get people to trial your product and talk about it. So back in the very early days, I think if I go back even the first tipping point, Marie Claire magazine contacted us and said they would love to do an kind of a diary entry per day of a cleanse, and would we be willing to sponsor a cleanse to one of their staff. And so we said with pleasure. I drove it through, met with her, gave it to explain the whole thing, and she did the 7-day cleanse, and then I got a 4-page write-up in Marie Claire magazine, which you can imagine as a small business, you would never be able to pay to take out that kind of exposure. But it has worked so well, and I've done it with many since then, Longevity, Wedding Inspirations, Wellness Magazine. The person on the other side had a need for the product, and I had a need for them to talk about it. So it was a win-win. We do a trade exchange, and then they write about it, and they write from the heart. So I'll say to them, please don't say, you loved every bottle of juice if you hated some of them. So they'll say, well, actually, this one was disgusting, but I knew it was good for me, and I got it in.
Yeah.
But it's been really a heartfelt experience that they've shared online or shared in digital magazines or written magazines. And I've done a lot with bloggers as well already. So, bloggers, what's been amazing is that they've approached me each time. And then we talk about their needs. I direct them to what would be the best experience, and then we do an exchange, and they write about it. We've done it with photographers that are professional photographers, and then would photograph the product and put it online. And those people all have followings. And then we've started now moving towards, we've got 2 sponsored athletes and 2 brand ambassadors that are also, they live our product. It's not, here's this cream, put it on your face and write about it. They drink their juice every day. They phone me on the 30th and say, my juice is finished. Send my next batch or I'm coming to pick it up. So for me, if you want to grow your business, you don't have the funds to pay for marketing and advertising initially. So find people that will love what you do, support them like nothing before, and they'll go and talk about it in the public space, and that you'll find that will generate a lot of awareness for your brand.
Yeah, well, I can vouch for that, for your everyday involvement and care and personal touch.
Thank you.
I mean, some SMSs coming in. How I love listening to someone who's totally passionate about what they do.
I get carried away.
So that's excellent. What I want to know is, how creative can you get? Because you're offering different programs. I must say, it can get boring doing the same thing over and over again. How do you keep us interested?
Okay, so that's another thing we did, which people would say, are you insane? What many companies do is they would have a 3, a 5, a 7-day cleanse, and you drink the same juices for 3, 5, or 7 days. And we said no. First of all, it's quite technical, but if you go and do research, the phytochemicals in different plants, fruits and vegetables, act very differently on different health issues to keep us healthy. So what a carrot will do for you is very different to what a green pepper is going to do for you, which will be different to what a parsnip will do for you. So first of all, we wanted to see how can we bring in a huge amount of variety in the produce that we're going to juice. But also, it's going to be boring. I myself don't want to do the same cleanse 3-day and then 5 days drink the same juice. So we have a complete, unique range of juices on our 3-day cleanse. There's a lot of beetroot juices on the 3-day cleanse. On the 5-day cleanse, there's parsnips in there, there's oranges, there's limes, there's lemons, there's pears, there's kale, broccoli, all sorts of things. On the 7-day cleanse, another complete set of juices. Our juice and soup cleanse is another complete set of juices. So in total already, we've got 80 recipes, 80, which does add an enormous amount of complexity to our business, because you can imagine when you order labels, you need to order them in big quantities to get good prices. But we can't order 20,000 of each one because there's 80 of them. So it's been a challenge. I am so glad we did it, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I'd rather still work 16 hours a day and be able to do that, because I know people want variety. They want different nutrients coming into their body, and it's amazing the different experiences that you have on each cleanse. So when you do the juice and soup, you fall in love with certain of the juices, you love some of the soups. Then you do a 3-day cleanse, you're like, oh, that smoothie on the 3-day cleanse, I dream about it. You do the 5-day, I was chatting to a client last night who said that we've got one called the Gentle Menthol with mint and orange, that you could live on that for the rest of your life. So it's like a little journey you go on when you do each cleanse, and you rediscover, and that's having 5, 3, 5, or 7, a juice and soup, and then we've got a 14-day program with an amazing juicing experience, 2 different juices a day plus a soup. You'll never get bored. By the time you got to the end one, you'll start again and do a 3-day and have different ones. So it's all about variety. It's the spice of life. And then we've got a lifestyle range and an athlete range with another whole lot of different juices on them. So anything's doable if you decide, for my business, this is the standard I'm going to set. And at Juice Revolution, we decided we are aiming high and we are never going to compromise. We set that standard, and you just rise to meet the challenge. You find the hours in your day, you find the right people to support you and work with you, and you do it. And you love it.
Oh, yeah. Ethel in Boksburg, you've got a question for Fiona.
Yes, Rudy, hello.
Hi.
I'd just like to know, I'd like to know if I want to start juicing, where do I start? How do you go about it? How do you do it? Do you drink juice only for a week, for a month, or how does it go?
So what you can do, Ethel, is if you want to start juicing yourself at home, you go and get yourself a juicer, and you could start by just replacing one of your meals each day with the juice. And there is no one way of doing it. So have a look in your fridge and see what veggies are lying there in your fridge, and a carrot and apple are always a good base. And then you throw in, try and think colors of the rainbow. So you're going to juice maybe some greens, you're going to do spinach, and you're going to do broccoli, but then, okay, what have I got red that I can put in here? Throw some red peppers into the juice.
So, Ethel, it's not like just strawberries and cream and ice cream and all the... It's the spinach and the kale leaves and the cucumbers and all of that.
Oh, okay. So it's better than to order it online, so you know what to do and whatever.
There's
Instead
two
of
ways.
doing your juice at your home. If you don't have a juicer, then you're in problem. But I was thinking it's like your orange juice, your lemons, and whatever.
Yes, so there you don't want to just do orange juice. You can every now and then, but you've got to try and balance your fruits and your vegetables. The vegetables will slow down the absorption of the sugars, the natural sugars in the fruits. So if you want to juice yourself, you can contact me and I will help you identify the right juicer to purchase. If you know I don't have the time, the inclination, and I'm just not going to do it, then you can order from us online. We've got a lifestyle range that you could start with, replacing one meal a day. Or if you wanted to say, hang on, I need a kickstart, then you order one of the cleansers. You get everything you need to do your cleanse, your herbal teas, your supplements, your juice delivered to you in a box, and you'll do that, and that will give you an amazing amount of energy to want to continue, either yourself with a juicer or through us with the lifestyle range.
Okay, and Ethel, you can go into the website as well. It's www.juicerevolution.co.za, www.juicerevolution.co.za. We'll carry on with our conversation, but first, the very latest.
702 and Cape Talk. Entrepreneur Corner.
And we're speaking to an entrepreneur, Fiona Stander, who's the founder of Juice Revolution. Lots of SMSs. Somebody wants to know, where do you get your produce from?
Okay, we get it from, we've sourced from, we try to make sure we support local. Mm-hmm. So we have a farmer in Wraithby, next to where we stay. He's an organic farmer, which he supplies us all our leafy greens, our carrots, our beetroot, our broccoli, our celery, and that's organic, which is amazing. But there is an amount of fruit and veggies that you can't find organic, like pineapples or at times avocados. Then my husband gets up at 3:30 a.m. and he goes to the Cape Town market and he sources personally the best quality fruits and veggies and brings those back. So we have interesting hours. I sometimes work till 3:30, say hello, and then he gets up at 3:30, and he goes about. For yourself, I would say, to try and look for local markets. It's amazing. They're popping up every day. There seems to be another one, and they often have an amazing offering of fruit and veggies, or find a good local retail store that you can also talk to and ask them, where is this coming from? It's about consumers starting to demand information about the products they're putting in their body, whether it be a piece of kale or a bottle of juice.
Okay. Let's go to Fran in Newlands. Good morning.
Hi, morning. I started juicing about a year ago, but I found that I couldn't keep up with running to buy fresh produce every 3 days. I try to do it from home, so I'm very keen to use the Juice Revolution. And I also found that because the food was raw, it was so easily digestible, never hungry, and I had energy. And then I didn't really like the taste of the vegetable juices, so I used to add fruit. And if I wanted a whole meal, then I would add an avocado pear, and you can't even taste it. It just makes it more creamy. So I definitely will be using this company.
That is awesome. And Fran, you touch on such a clever thing there, which we also do. Everyone that's making green juices blend an avo, half an avo or big chunk of avo into the juice. It does, as Fran says, it makes the juice, it takes it to another level of creaminess, but also there's a lot of vitamins in your juice that are fat soluble. So they need the natural fats from the avocado in order to be absorbed completely into the body. So yes, it makes the juice, turns it into a bit of an ice cream when you add avo into it. Okay. Well done, Fran.
But do you defend fruit? I mean, I don't want to mention names here, but there's a focus on less sugar is better, but never mind the high fat. That's not what we want to talk about. But the fact that there's sugar in fruit and we shouldn't be having as much fruit as we're having, and a lot of carbs in vegetables, we shouldn't be having as much as that. Is that not affecting your approach to your business as well?
No, you see, what I've always said, let's try and just maintain the common sense approach. First of all, the sugar in an apple is not the same as the sugar in a donut. And people think sugar is sugar is sugar. If the simple thing I always say to people, if you do the sugar test, the sugar that you crave, the bad sugar, if you were sitting at night, 10 o'clock, you're looking for something sweet to eat, you went and you opened your fridge, and your fridge was just packed every shelf with apples. You wouldn't say, oh, fantastic, I've got an apple. You'd be looking for chocolate. Or you'd be looking for biscuits or cake, the bad sugars that cause us to crave and be addicted to it. So the sugars in fruits, just so long as you balance them and you make sure you're putting vegetables together with the fruits, the sugars come as well with a lot of companion nutrients. It's not an isolated sugar like one would find in commercial foods. So your body is absorbing them completely different than it would absorb the sugar found in a chocolate. So I've yet to come across somebody that is obese, living on an island, living on fruits and vegetables. I mean, think of the far-off reaches of the world where Western society hasn't reached them with all the processed foods. Their teeth were healthy, their skin looked great, they weren't overweight, no one had diabetes, and they're eating natural fruits and vegetables that are growing in their area. So I think one's just got to you're not going to have 25 apples a day, but it has had no effect whatsoever on our business. And we've had Many people that have had concern, and I say, do it, take it one day at a time, and they've loved it. Okay. I have had diabetics. I always say, please check with your doctor first, that have used our products as well, type 1 and 2, and very successfully used them and managed to manage their sugar levels down to a much healthier level. So,
okay. Gary in Johannesburg, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Yes, Gary?
Yeah, it's Gary. Yeah, I phoned earlier to say I just wanted to ask the lady about something. About the new.
You are on air, Gary. Ask your question. You are on air. Go ahead.
Hi. Hello.
Hi, Gary.
To Gary, yeah, I just wanted to know, I've never really eaten fruits and veggies, and I'm not a very healthy person, but I heard about this product called the NutriBullet.
Yes.
Can you put the fruits and veggies, and you can add like chia seeds and maca powder. Have you heard of it, the NutriBullet?
Yes, so the NutriBullet, you get two types of machines. You get blenders and you get juicers. The NutriBullet is a blender, so that what you would do with that is you blend everything. So you're taking all the fibers and the juice together into your product that you're going to drink. A juicer separates the fiber, which is the indigestible part of fruits and veggies, and you only consume the juice. They both have a place in life, Gary. So a smoothie you're going to make in your NutriBullet, you won't be able to pack in as many fruits and veggies because you've got all the fiber in there. It will be absorbed slower by your body and will keep you fuller for longer because you've got all the fibers. Whereas with juicing, you're packing in a lot more nutrients because you're concentrating all the nutrients in the juice and you're separating off the fiber. It'll be absorbed faster within 20 to 30 minutes and will give you an instant energy boost. But both are great. So if you've got your NutriBullet and you're going to throw in chia seeds and it's amazing what the product.
I haven't got one yet, but I definitely want to buy it because I see it's all over South Africa, and for me, it looks like it's very easy to use.
Yes, you literally
chuck everything in. But I never use it.
It's the same thing, though, Gary. So to be careful of clever marketing. A NutriBullet is a blender. It's going to blend everything. I've got a 15-year-old, I can't even recall what it's called. The name's scratched off. It still does the same job. It's something with if a machine has an S blade, a shiny stainless steel S-shaped sharp blade, it's a blender. It's like, people have launched smoothie makers onto the market, but they're actually just blenders.
I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad. Okay, Cecil in Orange Grove, please stay on the line. We're supposed to wrap up our conversation, but lots of calls are coming through, lots of SMSs and tweets. We'll read them all. And also there's a question about how you register a company like this, because I do know that you've got a store, but you also have the online offering to take care of the distance. And I think it's only ethical and fair for me to announce I've used Juice Revolution. I do juice from time to time, and it's not cumbersome. It's been so easy, very, very quick. You order today, it's there tomorrow, and you just get going. I love it. It's worked for me, but we're more interested in it from a business point of view. How did she find the idea to turn juicing into a business, and how does she run the business in the first place? Let's take a break.
702 and Cape Talk. Entrepreneur Corner.
I've been chatting to Fiona Stander, founder of Juice Revolution. We're meant to have concluded our conversation already, but lots of SMSs and calls coming through, and we are focusing on Juice Revolution as a business. And Cecil in Orange Grove has, and good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, Fiona. Good morning, Ridi.
Good morning, Cecil.
Fiona, tell me, please, do you guys juice the skins of all the products that you juice?
We do, except for oranges, lemons, and limes.
Okay.
Yes, but everything else, there's a lot of good things in the skin. So
that's what I'm asking. Yes.
You absolutely don't want to throw those away. You just need to make sure that you have a thorough process of washing them before you juice them.
Okay.
You had another question, Cecil?
Do the oranges, limes, and lemons?
Because it's a sour, it'll make your juice taste too sour, the actual juice in the skin. But when you peel them, I don't know if you've heard of the pith. So when you peel your orange, you must make sure you leave the white pith just below the skin. That can stay on. You're just taking the top layer of the skin off.
Okay, thank you very much, Cecil. And Shireen in Florida, good morning.
Hi, good morning, ladies. I was just wondering if you're able to juice when you're breastfeeding.
Shireen, you can't do a cleanse, but you can absolutely juice, and you would do great benefit for yourself and your baby. So you can juice, have a juice for a meal or mid-afternoon, mid-morning snack, but what you're not going to do is live on juice for 7 days. because you don't want the toxins that your body's going to flush out going into your breast milk.
Okay, does that make sense then, Shireen? Does it? Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. And just about here's a question: how long can one store fresh vegetables before juicing to preserve nutrients?
That's a good question. I never store them long enough to check that because we get ours fresh and then we juice. If your carrot starts getting floppy, when you can bend them in half, then that's a bit long. But if you harvest them, we will try and juice them as soon as you've got them, bought them in the shops. You should be able to store them for a good few days, depending on what it is.
Okay.
Before you juice it.
And then, Fiona, just getting back to the business aspect of that,
yes.
I imagine you had to go through the normal registrations that small businesses in South Africa have to go through, Department
yes.
of Trade and Industry. What happens there?
Yeah, so when we registered our business, we used a company that does it for you. So there's certain things where it's just not worth the stress trying to do it yourself. So I just filled in the paperwork and said, these are the names I'm looking for, and they registered the company. It was a seamless process. And there's lots of little companies out there that do that as a service. And we've now registered a trademark. I went to a trademark attorney firm and also just gave them the logo and said, please register that as a trademark. So those things can be done for you quite easily and simply. Certain things like getting a VAT number, it's like stabbing yourself in the eye with a sharp needle, trying to get that done. It is an absolute nightmare. My accountant did it for us. I think he must have spent days camping out at SARS trying to get that sorted out. So there's certain things, and there isn't time. I wouldn't have been able to do it myself. I haven't got time. So I would say go to somebody that can do certain those aspects for you. They do that for a living, and they will have the time and the energy to do it. The DTI, the experience has been mind-blowingly disappointing. Through the DTI, we did apply. They've got a scheme called MSEP, Manufacturing Competitiveness Enhancement Scheme. We applied a year ago, and really, as I said, we've created employment with 10 people. We were one 3 years ago. We put in an application, spent an incredible amount of time and energy on it. It took a year for us to finally move to a point where our application was being processed. That was after misinformation upon misinformation. When we phoned in email trying to find out where is it, we get a different answer from everybody. It was finally being processed about a month ago. They were asking us for our numbers, our fixed assets register. I was so excited, and then I get a letter from the kind of customer service department out of the blue at midnight a few days later saying that the scheme has been, the objectives of the scheme have been met and all the applications are rejected. And I would understand it if your application wasn't in processing yet, but they said if it's not approved, just take it from us, it's rejected, and feel free to come back next year and start all over again when the window opens up again in April. So I emailed Rob Davies, tried to explain the frustration, the disappointment. We are trying to build a business create employment in South Africa, make a contribution to the economy, and I feel this is not how one should get treated. I haven't even had an acknowledgement of the email from his side or from anyone at the DTI.
So basically, the business is running. You've got people that you've employed, but you now have to start the process again.
That's what they're saying. And the scheme
is there an
was
explanation?
For South African businesses that have invested in assets, so it's capital, and they want the aim of the scheme was to enhance the investment in capital to grow businesses in South Africa. So that's exactly what we've done. So we were applying for funding for some of the capital that we've employed and also for a future. So our vision is we want to build on our small holding a small factory so that we could literally be employing 100 people in 2 years' time if we could get the right support and funding from governments. But it's just, I still want to tear my hair out. How can you tell someone that's gone through all the trouble to do the analysis, send you the numbers and say, feel free to apply again in April next year, not you're in the queue and we'll kick you off again. It's not, no, they said feel free to apply again in April next year. I'm still flabbergasted. I get angry. I mustn't talk about it.
But hold on. Do they give you reasons? Because what I'm trying to get to is if you go and you apply, and if this is the burden that is placed on small businesses, and we've heard it before on the show, people phone us and say, and during the budget speech, we hear the minister saying we're removing administrative burden on small businesses.
Please. No.
You're saying that's not what actually happens?
Well, certainly not. There were I phoned Pretoria, the lady I was dealing with there, and she said they were equally as shocked when they got this letter. And she said she felt it was unfair that all the applications that were in the system have just been rejected outright. And she got the message from the very top to say the scheme is officially it's suspended. The letter says the Department of Trade and Industry is temporarily suspending new applications as all available funding is fully subscribed. And then they say if your application is not approved, it's automatically rejected. Now, I'm asking myself, I run a business. If you're running the DTI, surely someone is tracking the value of applications coming in. How can you accept an application, start processing it if you didn't have the funds in the first place? So something just does not add up there. 2 plus 2 is not 4. You'd have a system. If we come in, you'd say, right, we're now dealing with so many hundreds of millions of applications. If you see your money is running out, you stop accepting new applications. But how can you reject an application that is in the middle of processing? And the thing is also, really, we've been approached by people that want to invest in our business, but we felt one doesn't want to just go and get an investor into your business. It can be a very bad decision if you're just doing it to get their funds, but they're not going to add value to you as a business in terms of maybe a market strategy or distribution footprint. So we've been holding out for all this time for the DTI to come to the table.
So what needs to happen? What is the one thing that needs to happen if we are to forward that email to them, and what do they need to do now?
I think they need to resurrect our application and go and back to their budgets and see how that money could disappear overnight. Because if you're processing all these applications, you obviously had the funds. So have the funds been moved to something else? They were MSEP scheme funds that have now been needed, so you rob Peter to pay Paul. But I would like some answers from someone at the DTI that can explain to me, first of all, why you've wasted all my time and energy for a year on this whole thing. Right up the front, then just say, we're not going to have funds for you. Just go to the bank or elsewhere. But we sat with the customer service consultant in Cape Town, and he painted a beautiful and rosy picture. In fact, they even said to us, really, the equipment you've just imported from America, you're not allowed to use it until you get the funds. And we said, well, how long is that going to take? They said 3 months. So for 3 months, we looked at our machines. We didn't use them because we were waiting for them to approve our application. After 3 months, we called in. They said, okay, you can write us a letter now saying that you've decided to use the equipment because we haven't responded yet, which we then did. Fast forward another 8 months later, and now we get out of the blue, your application is no longer being considered. It's ridiculous. You can't, and then there'll be all the fancy advertising, the DTI is here for you, and we're here to help you, and we want to grow business in South Africa. No.
That's not what happens.
No, that's not my experience. There might be other good news stories out there with other businesses, but not ours. And also, our business, there is a good team behind it. Myself and my husband, we believe in it. We have created jobs. It is a success story. It is going to grow. With or without the DTI, we will succeed. But it's not like it's a high risk for them because they can look at the numbers. They can see what we've done.
Vanessa in Honeydew, good morning.
Hi, morning, Rudy. I just wanted to phone in, kind of huge fan of Fiona and the team. I must say it's quite surprising to hear how small the team is because it seems like such an amazing kind of big operation, but Fiona and the team make you feel kind of so individual with the daily mails of encouragement and all of that. I'm similar to you, done 2 juice diets already and doing the third one now. I think just something that Fiona had mentioned now is I think that a lot of people look to kind of quick fixes in terms of the juice diet, and it's not a diet, it's a way of kind of lifestyle. Fiona, when we finish the juice diet, it's definitely how you feel and how much energy that you've got after that encourages you to keep on going to gym and eat healthy afterwards. So, yeah, huge fan of you and your team.
Thank you so much. You said I'm smiling again. I was frustrated with the DTI and now I'm happy again.
Okay. Well, Fiona, congratulations on what is a successful business despite the cumbersome interaction with the government. Your customers are validating the quality of your service, and redirecting everyone to www.juicerevolution.co.za, right?
Yes, that's correct. Okay. And they can find us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter.
And you deliver in Gauteng and the Western Cape, but you do have a physical store.
Yes, we've our juice kitchen. We've got our small holding. We've opened up a juice bar in Stellenbosch, which the people of Stellenbosch are just loving. We do proper cold press juicing, about 25 different recipes, and then we deliver. We've actually even delivered our juice to the Seychelles, to Namibia, and we go as far as Durban. We can do outlying areas of Johannesburg, Klerksdorp, Ellisras, small little towns, Johannesburg, Durban, PE, George, Mossel Bay. You name it, we try to get to you. There's just a small percentage of the people in far reaches. If we can get you in 2 days, then we have the solution.
Fiona, congratulations. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. It's been awesome. Thanks,
Thank you very much. We'll podcast that conversation.